Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Gail Carson, your host for Women in Business, a show that celebrates women and their accomplishments as entrepreneurs or senior managers. As a woman business owner for over 5 decades, I take great pride in bringing these interviews to you. Today, I am visiting with Barb Schmidt. Her book is The Practice, and it's primarily about waking up, living present, and letting go, something we all need to be able to do. And it's a featured book at the Miami Book Fair. This book allows you to gain strength and confidence in your ability to overcome daily stresses and obstacles by using simple breathing techniques to focus your attention. You also learn simple, manageable tools to empower you to take control of your life and make changes that bring you happiness. Well, Barb, welcome to the show, and we certainly all need what you are teaching.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to be here speaking with you today.
Well, you also, however, are a businesswoman, you're a philanthropist, as well as a spiritual teacher. So what type of business were you in or are you in, and how have you taken what you practice into the business world?
Oh, beautiful question. I started off at age 14 working for McDonald's when I was in high school, and continued that career with McDonald's for decades and ended up owning my own McDonald's restaurant franchises here in South Florida, starting in about 1980 all the way to 1996. So I owned 6 McDonald's restaurants. So I was a very accomplished, successful businesswoman for quite a number of decades. And that business career that I had really launched me into my philanthropy. I started and founded Ronald McDonald Children's Charities of South Florida in 1988 and continued to be the president of that through 1996 when I ended up selling my restaurants. And then I've been 30 years practicing spiritual practices, so I really I kept my philanthropy, but focused a lot on my spiritual teaching, partnered with Florida Atlantic University here in Boca Raton, doing classes and workshops and lectures through their Peace Studies program, and really started full-time focusing on that aspect of my life and my passion and my mission.
Well, how has that changed your life? I mean, were you doing this when you were in business, or did all of this happen after you sold everything?
Oh my gosh! I started owning my McDonald's restaurants prior to starting my spiritual practices and really my spiritual discovery and recovery. I went into recovery into a treatment center 30 years ago this month in 1984 for the treatment of bulimia. So entering that, I already owned 4 McDonald's restaurants at that time, and just bulimia is a disease that really takes a hold of you from the inside out, and woke up one day and said, I really need help. I've got everything externally that anyone could want or wish for, but inside I was just falling apart. So checked myself into treatment for 6 weeks, and that introduced me to meditation, to this idea of really integrating our lives fully from the inside out. And then that's what launched me on this search. So I was in between running my restaurant, so it's helped me tremendously in my life, in my career, in my philanthropy, in my everyday life. I have a saying that our ordinary life, everything that we do day to day, minute to minute, is our spiritual life. It is our path. So when you really live in the moment, practicing all these things, your business life is better, your personal life is better. You really love and enjoy yourself, and things just have a way of not being perfect, and you can't manage everything without stress all the time, but you really feel strong enough that you can handle anything that comes your way. So it's been influential in changing my life.
Well, I have a spiritual coach. As a matter of fact, I had my session with her this morning early, and I'm making a big turn in my life, the way I view things and the way I handle things, because I've always been very I would say I had a lot of masculine energy. Let's just put it like that.
Me too.
And now I'm embracing that feminine side. And I'm just curious how you explain to people or tell people, because I find this to be one of the hardest things to do, how to be in the present and how to be in the now. And I keep talking to myself and I keep, telling myself, but I find it very difficult to do. So what is your advice as far as that's concerned?
Well, that's why I start my practice. I start my day, and it's why the beginning of the book is waking up. It matters what you do first thing when you get out of bed. So meditation, I'm trying to demystify that word. Really all meditation is just a sitting with yourself. You sit and let the thoughts come and go. And what happens in that letting the thoughts come and go, you're not trying to go up to a cloud or become this zoned out person that then nothing bothers them. You become strong and powerful. But really, so beautifully what you're doing is you're practicing and really training yourself to come back to the moment, because the thoughts are going to carry you away. You're going to come back to the moment with the breath or with a mantra or with an affirmation. So this is the training first thing in the morning when you go out of bed, and you carry that throughout your day. It sets the tone for your whole day. You're training yourself to come back to the moment. So my mind wants to take me off to go to the grocery store or to get up and go to work because I don't have time to sit there with myself. No, I bring my attention back to the breath and I stay in the moment. So then during the day, when the mind takes us to the past or the future, we can take our breath, we can use that thread that we are bringing out of our meditation time, out of that sitting time with ourselves. We come back to that and say, wait a minute, let me take a breath and bring myself back to the moment. Let me stop and pause here in this moment of anxiety or stress or fear that's bringing me in the past or the future. Let me bring myself back to the moment. It's training, and it's really a practice. It's why I called the book The Practice. It's just every day you practice, and every day you start to really get a deep knowing that, well, I'm in the future again worrying about something. Let me take a breath and bring myself back to the moment.
Well, I have
in the morning.
Yeah, I've really tried to do that, and I find that the longest I can go is about 3 minutes. I'm not very good at just sitting and letting thoughts come and go. Yet I was at the Oprah weekend, and Deepak Chopra, who I know you studied with, did a meditation to begin, and I think that was about the first time I was able to really sit still as he was talking. He actually was talking, and then I was just, zoned out in another world. But he said he practices meditation 2 hours a day, and I can't even go there. I mean, I say to myself, wow. So in your opinion, I suppose there's no average, but in your opinion, what is an amount of time that you consider the right amount of time to meditate?
When I really launched into this full speed ahead, I was going on retreats with Deepak and with Thich Nhat Hanh and Pema Chodron and Marianne Williamson, all of those great teachers that we all know. And there was a point in time for about a 3 or 4 year period where I was meditating 2 hours a day. I would meditate 1 hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon. And I don't do that today. I meditate a half an hour in the morning. And when I started my teaching, it was hard for me to, what do you teach people? Because when I first started to meditate, 5 minutes was, like you said, I'm a very type A, very successful businesswoman. So to sit there was difficult. So I went on a retreat with the Dalai Lama in 2007. And during this retreat, they passed out a little pamphlet, a little magazine type thing. And in that magazine, I zeroed in on one sentence. It said, better to meditate 5 minutes every morning than 20 minutes once a week. The practice of doing it every single day is what matters. So I personally don't think it's the amount of time each day. I think it's just doing it every day. So if you're 3 minutes, do that every morning. And then the article went on to say 3 minutes turns into 4 minutes, turns into 5 minutes. Mine turned into 2 hours.
Wow.
And what's beautiful about our lives is we start to really understand, what can I sustain in my life? What do I need to do in my life? But if we do something, even if it's small, every single day, I think that's what matters the most.
Well, now, there's also a part of your book about letting go, and I have become pretty good at that. In fact, I also am a speaker, a professional speaker, and one of our members at the National Speakers Association one year gave a speech, and he was talking about letting it go and how important it was to let things go around you and that so forth and so on. And he finished a sentence, something, and then he said, you've just got to let it go. And he turned and walked off stage, and nobody saw him again. And I thought, that was a very clever way of ending his speech. But I have become pretty good at that. The things that used to really trigger me, and I would kind of sit on them all day. You know how they kind of gnaw away at you. Now I just say it happened because it was supposed to happen, and I will learn the lesson pretty soon. And then I find that it all works out. So,
beautiful.
But it took me a
That's
long
what all the great teachers teach.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I got one thing at least, Barb.
Yeah,
at least
terrific.
one thing I got.
Terrific.
So, what are some of the other things in your book that you think are important points that our audience should listen to?
Just to put a couple in on that, letting go, one of the things that really helped me the most was understanding each night when I do the reflection exercise that I put in the book, each night setting the intention to let go. You really start to get that you can't change it anyway. You can't control it. You can't change it. And it's just what you said so beautifully. So I might as well let it go. And something better is going to come along, or you start to learn that the blessings do come underneath some of these great trials and tribulations. So that's a big one. I think a lot of people have trouble letting go because we so want to control it and we don't want it to be that way. We want it to be the way that we want it to be. And if we let it go, more often than not, something more grand or something more spectacular that we really are looking for, it comes in our way. The other great thing that I write about in the book is really trying to demystify meditation, as I said, but also trying to help people understand what mindfulness is and this idea of being in the present moment, and that our life is precious. I think I quote, I know I do at my workshops and lectures, that Mary Oliver, that American poet, I just love her, just what do you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? That really struck me deeply, that this is our one wild and precious life. Even if we do have other lifetimes, none of that really makes a difference in the scheme of what are we going to do in this moment, and that each moment, if we live fully in the moment, and you mentioned it earlier, then we can choose. So it's about living in freedom, knowing that we have a choice, living in the moment, and then knowing that our day can begin and end, and that we can start another day the next day. Learning how to really flow and be. We do what we need to do, and then we let the results happen and learn how to just be in the moment.
Well, there are a lot of self-help books out there. What do you think makes yours stand out above everybody else's?
What everyone has said to me, and when I've been doing these lectures and talks for about 12 years now, and they said, write a book, is that I've taken all these great truths. Nothing that I say in here hasn't been taught by all the great teachers, masters, mystics of the past and the current day. But I take what they're saying, and I really try to simplify it and try to give you a step-by-step way of putting it into action into your life. So when Eckhart Tolle says, the power of now, I think I do a really good job in the book of saying this is what he means by the power of now, and if you do live in the now, this is what can happen for your life. I'm an example of that, 30 years of transformation from recovery or from the life that I was leading to the life I'm leading today. So I've taken meditation. Meditation is a sitting with yourself. Take that word out of your mind if it bothers you. Take the idea that you have to do it right, because there's no right or wrong, and just be. So I've tried to make it these great deep truths applicable and easy to understand, and with some practice they can truly transform your life, and you become the person and walk the life that you came here to walk.
Well, I think that's wonderful, and I think if people can get that message from your book, then that's something they absolutely should look to do, and they should go and buy this book. But I have to ask you, you've got this Powerful Mind, Peaceful Life movement. What is your mission for it?
Well, Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life, I founded it in 2011. It's a nonprofit, and the mission is to change the world. It's literally to one person at a time, bring peace, power, empowerment, connectedness, love, and compassion to the world. If I believe strongly that outer peace begins with inner peace, and that the outer chaos, anger, frustration, fear, anxiety that we're all feeling, it's out there. We can't change the external world, but when we change ourselves, we start to impact the external world. So I'm taking this on the road. It's really my true life. I know that this is the work and the passion that I have inside of me, and that I came here to this planet to do, and I'm taking it on the road, and we have 2.2 million followers on Facebook already. And all the profits and everything that I do, I'm speaking at the Miami Book Fair at 4 o'clock, and then going to be there all day signing books and on Writers Row talking to people.